The sister of Henry VIII, Mary Tudor. This woman's life was full of royal intrigue, diplomatic manoeuvres, and unwavering defiance. Born amidst the grandeur of the Tudor era in 1496, she stood as the younger sister of Henry VIII and the cherished daughter of Henry VII. With both regal lineage and striking beauty at her disposal, she effortlessly captivated the courts of Europe. At the tender age of 18, she found herself wedded to the 52-year-old King Louis XII of France, a union orchestrated for political purposes only. Yet her reign as Queen of France was fleeting, overshadowed by the untimely death of Louis XII merely 3 months into their marriage, leaving her a very young widow. Undeterred by conventions, she followed her heart and defied royal expectations by marrying her true love, Charles Brandon, the Duke of Suffolk, without the consent of her powerful brother, Henry VIII. In a world where monarchs held sway and courtly etiquette reigned supreme, she forged her own path marked by passion and resilience, cementing her status as one of the most intriguing figures of the Tudor era. Let us delve into the extraordinary life of Mary Tudor, Queen of France, whose journey began on the 18th of March 1496 in the regal chambers of Sheen Palace. As a young surviving offspring of Henry VII and Elizabeth of York, her arrival was heralded by historical documents authorizing payments to her nurse, Anne Scarron. Renowned scholar Aramis also attested to her early years, recalling her veracity as a spirited 4-year-old. By the age of 6, Mary's royal standing warranted an extensive entourage, including tutors, attendants, and a personal physician. Her education was comprehensive, spanning languages, music, dance, and needlework under the tutelage of her devoted governess. Mary shared a special bond with her brother, the future Henry VIII, who honoured her by naming his first surviving child after her, destined to become Queen Mary I. Their childhood was marked by shared grief following the loss of their mother when Mary was just 6 years old. Renowned for her exceptional beauty, Mary garnered admiration across Europe, with Aramis declaring her unmatched by nature's hand. Her talents in music and dance further enhanced her allure, captivating audiences during gatherings and visits from dignitaries such as Philip I of Castile. Following the tragic death of Philip I, Mary's betrothal to his son Charles, the future Holy Roman Emperor, was abruptly ended in 1513. However, Cardinal Wolsey, a skilled diplomat, orchestrated a surprising marital alliance through negotiations with France, altering the course of Mary's life once again. On the 9th of October 1514, an 18-year-old Mary took her solemn steps down the aisle to unite in marriage with a considerably older 52-year-old King Louis XII of France. Accompanying her were 4 English maids of honour, including Mary Boleyn, all overseen by her former governess turned principal lady-in-waiting, Lady Guildford. Louis, driven by the desire for a male heir after failing to have any from his previous marriages, found himself bound to Mary. However, their union was short-lived as Louis succumbed to death on the 1st of January 1515, just 3 months into their marriage. Speculation surrounded the cause of his demise, with some attributing it to his vigorous efforts in the bedchamber, while others suspected it was due to his crippling gout. Regardless, the marriage bore no children. Following Louis's passing, King Francis I attempted in vain to arrange a second marriage for the widowed Mary. Her heart, however, belonged to Charles Brandon, the first Duke of Suffolk, despite the political nature of her marriage to Louis XII. Her brother, King Henry VIII, was aware of Mary's feelings and even had his own designs for her future alliances. In 1515 correspondence, Mary expressed her conditional agreement to marry Louis XII, stipulating her right to choose her next husband should she outlive him. However, Henry VIII had his own political aspirations, and his council opposed the potential union between Mary and Charles Brandon, due to fears of Brandon's growing influence at court. Amidst these challenges, Mary navigated the complex landscape of court politics, deflecting marriage proposals from various suitors including Antoine, Duke of Lorraine, and Charles III, Duke of Savoy, as well as tactfully evading King Francis I's interests. Despite warnings from French friars regarding Brandon's character, Mary remained steadfast in her affection for him. Love eventually triumphed when Henry VIII sent Brandon to escort Mary back to England in January 1515, extracting a promise from Brandon not to propose marriage. However, Mary, tearful and persuasive, convinced Charles to break his oath, and they secretly wed at the Hotel de Cluny in Paris on the 3rd of March 1515, witnessed by only 10 individuals, including King Francis I. This clandestine marriage incurred the wrath of Henry VIII, as Brandon had married a royal princess without his consent. This was an act of treason. Initially facing severe punishment including execution, the intervention of Cardinal Wolsey and Henry's affection for his sister and Charles spared them, albeit with a hefty fine of £24,000. The union of Mary and Charles Brandon was formalised at Greenwich Palace on the 13th of May 1515 and later received approval from Pope Clement VII in 1528, thus legitimising their marriage. Embracing her role as a stepmother, Mary cared for Charles's 2 daughters from his previous marriage, seamlessly integrating them into their new family dynamic. Throughout her second marriage, Mary was often referred to as the Queen of France at the English court, a title reflective of her royal lineage. Residing primarily at Westhorpe Hall in Suffolk, Mary faced new challenges as she opposed her brother's attempts to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, whom Mary had known and respected for many years. Additionally, her dislike for Anne Boleyn, Henry's intended wife, strained their relationship further. Tensions escalated in March 1532 when a confrontation at Westminster resulted in the death of Sir William Pennington, allegedly stemming from derogatory remarks about Anne Boleyn, which were made by Mary. These incidents underscored the intricate complexities of royal court and the intrigues into Mary's life. Despite her royal status, Mary's life was shadowed by illness, requiring ongoing medical care. Her health declined steadily, and at the age of 37 she passed away at Westhorpe Hall on the 25th of June 1533, never fully recovering from the sweating sickness that she contracted in 1528. The exact cause of her death remains a matter of speculation, with possibilities ranging from angina to tuberculosis, appendicitis, or cancer. Mary's funeral was a grand affair, befitting her royal lineage. She lay in state at Westhorpe Hall for 3 weeks before a solemn mass was held at Westminster Abbey in her honour. On the 22nd of July 1533, dignitaries from England and France attended her grand funeral ceremony, led by her daughter Frances. Notably absent were Mary's husband and her royal brother, the King. The funeral procession included 100 torchbearers, clerics, nobility, and 100 of the Duke's yeomen, culminating in Mary's interment at Bury St Edmund's Abbey the following day. An unexpected controversy arose as her stepdaughters Anne and Mary took the lead in the procession just before her coffin's descent into the Abbey's crypt, much to the disdain of their half-siblings. Mary's remains were later moved to St Mary's Church, Bury St Edmunds, after the dissolution of the monastery in 1538. A turn of events in 1784, her coffin was opened and locks of her hair were taken as souvenirs by curious individuals. Despite her passing, Mary Tudor's legacy endures as a woman who defied convention and asserted her desires in a world dominated by the whims of kings. Her story serves as a reminder of the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of adversity, marking her as one of the most remarkable figures of the Tudor era.